Well, welcome back, everybody, to Books with Friends with Eric. I got my good friend here, Zach Austin, on the podcast. Say what's up.
What's up, guys?
Say what's up.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Wow. We actually recorded this podcast last week, had some technical difficulties, so thank you again for coming back on the Books with Friends podcast. We're going to be talking about a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Really great book. The biggest thing, if you've ever heard of the 10,000 hours, this is where it stems from. We're going to be talking a little bit more detail about it, talking about famous people that have put in 10,000 hours. Way more than that. We're going to be kind of going into some other personal stories just to preface what we're about to talk about. But Zach, give your 2-minute intro. Who are you? What do you do? Why should they listen to you?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, don't listen to me. I'm a terrible role model. But I do make noise by myself and with my band, Liar. We're all Liars on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
How's liar spelled? Is it L-Y-R-E?
L-Y-R-E.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the old instrument?
One of the first stringed instruments.
Cool.
That was definitely an inspiration for, name of the band. You should have all three of us in here so you can really,
could.
Yeah.
We could have a full music talk.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll be less. Yeah.
Really dive into the noise.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what consumes my time. I also, like to dive into production and anything that involves me creating in a digital format. It's my sweet spot. You know what I mean?
Right on, man.
That's pretty much it. I'm boring as fuck.
That sounds pretty cool, dude.
I mean, just straight up.
Yeah. So what's the genre that you're in? I know sometimes artists, when I was in a band, it was tough to figure out where to classify us as a genre, and then later I know because we're like, well, we made our own genre. It's like that's an easy answer, but it's hard for people to understand and like categorize you because you know what I mean. For people to say, hey, I might like this. What genre are you in? Just for people that might be looking.
It's definitely experimental. Like I said, I produce, but I also play drums. So we have, for example, our EP that we've been working on for about a year now has 6 tracks, and all 6 tracks, I produced an instrumental that the MC, Eli, and the guitarist, Brad, add their flavors in on, and then I'm playing drums on top of that, which is a little different and weird, but we all are, and that's just kind of like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of our vibe we have going. So in terms of genre, I mean, you could say like rock hop, hip hop.
Rock, okay.
Rock. There's definitely elements of both of those in there.
Okay.
You'll have to see it or hear it for yourself to make that distinction.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have anything up like on SoundCloud or anything?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Waiting for the EP to drop.
EP up in the air. I'd say within 6 months.
Okay.
We gotta line some things up and make sure it's exactly
what you want,
how we want it.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's a process and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You really can get lost in the creative parts of being a musician and being a creator and forget the application part of it, actually applying your skills.
Yeah, it always gets tough to like transition, especially in the time we're in now, whereas as a musician, you're also tasked with being an entrepreneur at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
You have to be your own boss.
You have to go out. There's no one asking you to help make an album. You have to be making all the moves yourself. You have to go find the people that are going to help you create marketing materials,
especially in the age of the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, but it's not like the level it is now, whereas you have to be your own agent now.
There's so many independent artists out there that are just doing 100% what they want to do and how they want to do it.
Yeah.
And to anybody that doesn't support that, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like it make your own buck somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing against managers, nothing against talent, agents, nothing against labels.
And to some level, you need that,
serve
right?
a purpose,
to some level, if you get to a certain level of fame, you just don't have the time to deal with that kind of shit.
To do those things,
yeah.
You want to be able to focus on other parts.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in terms of struggling artists that haven't found their way yet, it seems like, there's always going to be that banker in the shadows.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that dude's just like, hey.
Yeah, and there's always going to be that,
hey, kids.
Yeah. Give me a Georgie.
Want to make some money?
Yeah, absolutely. But, at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what keeps me sane, right? We're all just here drinking coffee, talking about Outliers, a great book, right?
So something I was actually reading, and it's not from Outliers, it's from a book called Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, and he's interviewing this guy. I don't remember exactly who he's interviewing, but it's kind of applicable to artists having to be their own, they have to be entrepreneurs now, rather than just being creatives, like that, how it kind of used to be. And at some level, like I'm saying, like making generalizations here, everyone that was a creator at some point has to be an entrepreneur at some point, because they have to go out and book their own shows for a little while until they get somebody that does it for them, whether or not it's now or back in the 60s and 70s with old school rock before the internet. But the guy he was talking to brought up a really good point, whereas you can pick really two paths that you want to do. You can pick one and become a complete expert at it and just dedicate all of your time to something. So, like, for example, if you just want to be a master guitar player, dedicate all your time.
Never put it down.
Yeah, exactly. You could dedicate all your time, kind of going into the 10,000 hours, but we'll get back to that. But all your time into one thing, whatever it is. Only one thing can you master. The second option is that you could be good at multiple things, and the combination of those multiple things creates a possibility for you. So, for example, you could be a master guitar player but not know anything about business, but you're so good that people come to you to help. Hey, can you get featured on this track? Hey, can you write this for us? Whatever, right? Or you can be okay but be good at multiple things, such as being an okay band, but you know how to get your stuff out there. There's a ton of bands. There's a ton of bands that aren't great, but they're making it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not...
they know how to play the game.
Exactly. So being the entrepreneur side, being good at that is almost just as important as being a good musician and being a good artist. You know what I mean?
Being able to...
Because to be successful. I'm not saying to be a good artist. I'm saying to be successful.
To be a successful artist.
To make money doing it. I mean, that's like the overall goal, right?
Yeah, and what's beautiful about making money while making your art is it allows you to focus on the art. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, once you can separate, once you get away from the job, now it's all...
Yeah, you can just really harness your energy.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful concept, you know?
Yeah. So one kind of critique I have with the 10,000 hours thing is he's kind of assuming you have to pick one thing in order to be successful at it, which I don't always agree with. I like versatility, right? I do a ton of different things. I really like reading. I like BMXing, and like art. I'm not great at any of them, but I'm good at all of them. I would say that I'm good at all of the things that I do, but I'm not to the level that's like, wow,
yeah, you're
like amazing. I'm not in that realm, but like finding a way to how can I combine these things that I'm good at, because I can't go back in time.
Yeah,
10,000 hours, like you should have started when you were 4, 9 hours a day if you want to be pro. It's not always possible for some people. Some people don't have clarity in their life when they're that young. Some people don't have clarity in their life till they're 27, 28. Some people not even till 40 years old to have clarity for once, So like talking about 10,000 hours, that's like, you can't go back in time. No. And for someone to at 40 decide they want to be a master guitar player, that's...
See you at 80.
Exactly. Exactly,
that's
man. You're already missed the boat. So,
which I bet that man would make beautiful fucking blues music.
I bet he would.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I bet it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, right? It's like, I think...
But that's if he focused on, just guitar.
Just guitar again, yeah. I think
being able to... ticket to...
I think it's more realistic level to, like, be able to combine things.
Yeah.
Perfect example, Rob Dyrdek. Have you ever watched interviews of Rob Dyrdek now? He has some really great ones out there on the internet.
Not recently.
Yeah, and so Rob Dyrdek wasn't the greatest skater. He still isn't the greatest skater. But what he did have was a business mindset. And so that combination of two things, and he's kind of crazy too, but that kind of combination of skate and business and being able to combine and create products and create good TV shows and entertainment, that has elevated him to a fame, or it's not even really about fame, but like financial success and success overall, getting everything he wants. That combination got him way farther than probably just dedicating all his time to being a skater, right?
Being able to manage your own skills, being able to...
Yeah, and combining different things that work together to make it really far. Yeah. That's super important. That's kind of an idea I'd like to just toss out before we dive super deep into people that have dedicated all of their time into one thing. Which at the same time, that is beautiful, right? So
Yeah.
watching LeBron
These are the
James
greats.
play basketball,
You know what I
watching
mean?
Kobe
These are
Bryant
the-
or
yeah.
Michael Jordan play basketball, that's something you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like you're witnessing excellence right there. Do you watch football?
A little bit.
Did you watch the Super Bowl 2 years ago when the Patriots came back? I think I can't remember who they're playing. They came back by like 30 points in the last quarter or the second half.
Yeah.
I was watching that, dude. I was watching that game. So I'm like, oh, it's over. It's done. I can't remember who they're playing. I thought it was the Seahawks, but I cannot remember. I could be way off. They come back by like 30 points in the third and fourth quarter. Like everyone thought the game was over. And I'm sitting there watching Tom Brady play. I'm like, dude,
He's just doing what he does.
I'm witnessing.
Love him or hate him.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm witnessing excellence right now. This is
The man's a professional.
excellence,
you can't
dude.
knock it. Whether or
But
not there's
he's such a caliber above everybody else. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
like how Michael Jordan is. You know.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton Manning.
all these guys are in the same
They're in that
conversation. Kobe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So like, I was just like, man, you know when you're witnessing excellence.
Oh yeah.
So there's a certain thing you
LeBron's kind of in that conversation.
get. Yeah.
He'll give
He's
him another
good.
give him another 10 years and
He might be playing in 10 years, man.
maybe.
I also think, personally, LeBron just needs to shave his head, bro. He's balding.
I don't know. Yeah,
His hair is real thin on the top, dude.
I don't know what he's doing. If it's just like those, hair in a
I feel like he's getting
spray
some. I think he's trying to save it. It's just like, bro, Kobe was bald, Michael was bald. Just
maybe that's the thing. He wants to.
he's like, hey, I'm
wants to go
LeBron, dude.
against that grain.
I'm growing an afro. Next thing you know, he's got like some wig on or
Dreads
something.
and shit.
He's starting. I think he should just commit. Honestly, like I feel like if you start getting to the point where like you're getting real thin up top, I think you should just shave it down all the way.
Or he'll go Dennis Rodman and start dyeing it and shit.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. Yeah, I mean whatever floats your boat. But I don't know. Personally, I think he should just shave it, man. Just commit, dude.
Well, I mean, he's already he's that close to it. You know what I mean? He's already like buzzing it down to like
yeah, that's true.
right there. Why not just
go?
Yeah.
It's like Gene Katie, old basketball coach. He's trying to save it, bro. He's bald on top, and he grows his sides out long.
It's like, what are you saving that hair for?
And he combs it over.
Comb overs are
Like
ridiculous.
from the side though. It's like it's bald on top. Like he's growing up his sides, like real long. And he's just like trying to like.
It's not. You still completely see his scalp. There's just like a few pieces of hair laying over the top
It's like,
of it.
dude,
So it's like,
you're not fooling anybody. We all know you're.
are they trying to
bald.
fool someone?
I don't know. Maybe they just can't let it go. If you were bald in the middle, would you keep the sides or would you just commit?
Oh fuck it! I'd go completely bald. You know what
That's
I
what
mean?
I'm
I don't
saying.
because like the moment you start having I'm gonna call it the hedge
Yeah.
where it's just like,
Oh yeah, all the way around. Yeah.
what is that?
Oh, it's just not a good hair.
I mean my
I'd rather be bald, dude.
yeah
Just go.
my late grandpa
He rocked
he
it.
had that, man, and I was like, I was associate. It's a very, I'm not gonna say grandpa haircut, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it just like bangs, like low bangs
I
all
know.
around your head? Are they like brushing it and shit?
I can't imagine
You
what
know?
that kind of bedhead would look like. We wake up, it's like
And it's like, the Danny DeVito. Yeah,
Nothing
you know
on
what
the
I'm like,
top.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Balding is a weird thing. Like it's only guys that really have to worry about it. I mean, there's some
Not
girls
necessarily
there's
true. I've
some
seen
girls.
some bald women.
There are some women that have to worry about it. It's few
That's
and far
rare.
between,
Yeah,
right?
that's rare.
A
but
majority of men go bald in their life. Like I'm pretty sure it's
it's
more than
stressing, man.
I'm pretty sure it's more than 50% go bald in their life.
It's a stress thing.
You think so?
It's a stress thing. It's a hormone thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, yeah, it's one of those things like you can't ever stop. You know, there's nothing you can do. It's just you can't do anything really to prevent it. I feel
No.
like the people that try to sell products that say you can prevent it. I
No,
don't really. You might be able to
chemicals are chemicals.
yeah, you
know
might
what
be
I
able to
mean?
like stretch out the time you'll have your hair, but like it's gonna go away. You
Yeah.
know, every guy when they get old they start losing their
It-
hair, man.
yeah.
It's just what it is.
Yeah. Plus, at some point, I'll just shave my entire head completely and just tattoo everything,
Tattoo
and
hair.
then grow out hair again.
Tattoo the hair on, dude. Tattoo a buzz cut.
The low bang.
Yeah.
No, like the low bangs.
Ew, that'd be bad.
Just like.
Be kind of cool to have a tattooed buzz cut. You know,
How would you?
If it looked realistic, like from far away.
Yeah.
If you got close, you'd be like,
like that ain't real.
"What is this guy go?" It's got like a fucking perfect line. I got perfect.
Damn, just got
tattooed fade on, bro. You know. The perfect fade, just tattooed. Never have to get my hair cut. It'd be kind of nice, but I feel like it'd be a process.
That's like the ladies that tattoo lipstick and
people do that.
Eyeliner on. That's a thing, dude.
Wow,
that's a thing. I just
that'd be painful.
Saw a video like within 2 weeks.
I feel like that'd be really painful.
Tattoo
on your lip.
Think about
on your lip,
you know,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I get it, but I don't. You know.
You never have to worry about it, but it's for life, though.
Yeah, and
eyeliner
and tattoo laser removal surgery. That shit.
Oh,
I've heard it's painful.
Oh man, you better
imagine getting that on your lips.
I probably feel like they're just like, oh man. Have you ever had like super chapped lips? I feel like it's like that times 10 because it's like a laser.
Well, yeah, it's like a sunburn almost.
I feel like your lips would never feel the same once you got them tattooed either. I feel like for you it wouldn't feel the same. It'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, you'd probably damage some nerves.
Probably.
That's soft tissue, dude.
Yeah.
Although people get this
inside, I've
tattoo.
seen that.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that has one. I'm like, why though?
So I can pull it down and. Did it say fuck?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Fuck off. It said something. I think it was something that was like
that's a
profanity
theme.
type of thing.
Yeah, it's a theme. It's like I got a little pocket of fuck you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, you know.
It's whatever suits you, man.
Right, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Which to some people, it's coding for 30 hours a day for 80 years straight.
Yeah,
end up like a Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. I mean, still, Steve Jobs wasn't as tech savvy as Bill Gates.
No, he was. We talked about this in the lost files.
The lost files.
You know the other podcast we did about Steve Jobs was more concerned about aesthetic and how a consumer viewed a product and used a product.
Yeah.
Versus Bill Gates was definitely more actually like making the product.
Yes. Yeah.
They were both great at what they did, and I'm sure they both spent probably the same amount of hours doing their respective things. But just imagine a computer company with Bill Gates and Steve Jobs together.
Oh man, I feel like they want to kill each other though at the same time. You know
they probably would never be in the same room as each other for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
By the way, rest in peace. You know, that's the impact that Steve Jobs had. We can have a conversation about him like he's still fucking alive.
I know.
You know what I mean? That's the effect that he had.
Yeah, he was huge, man. Bill Gates will have the same.
Yeah.
It's totally different mindsets in that space. And you know, we were talking about it. Bill Gates got a computer. He got access to one of the very first computers like that was codable, I guess, programmable, and they're probably like super, like $40,000 probably for one of these computers.
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a mentor, and the mentor allowed him to have access through like the library or something or other?
Yeah,
like,
the lab,
something like that, right?
Yeah, his Bill Gates high school was like.
It was high school. Yeah.
It was one of the very. Like his high school had a coding lab during a time. This would have been like the 60s or maybe even the 50s.
No, I think it was in the 60s. I think they were both born in like 60 something. No, is that right?
I think they were born in like the 40s or 50s.
I think they were born in the 50s, but they were old enough to code. I think they were coding in the 60s. I feel like.
Yeah, that's
like the early. Yeah.
Because then, like when they were in college, it was the 70s. But he had access to a coding lab when he was in high school, and when most colleges didn't have access to that. So that compound interest, if you will, of time in that lab.
He was just obsessed with it.
He became an outlier, somebody that was completely experienced in something that no one else was really, like, he was getting more and more experience and was getting more knowledge, and then goes to college and has access to a 24-hour a day coding lab, where there'd be some times where he just wouldn't go to class and would just code.
Yeah.
It'll drive you to madness. And these are people that don't even know, like in my opinion, it was like decided before his parents even got together that Bill Gates was going to do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like written in the stars.
Well, it's like how everything aligned perfectly for him.
Yeah, and he's like still somewhat sane. How do you dive that deep into something that's completely unknown at the time?
Yeah.
And I mean he's the fucking one of the richest men on the fucking planet. You know what I mean? Like, that's the outcome.
And he gives away.
Drive yourself crazy, you'll go rich.
Yeah,
you know?
He gives away like almost all of his money.
Yeah, he's very charitable, which I.
He runs so much stuff like over in Africa.
Oh
like
yeah,
for I know for HIV prevention and stuff and treatments.
He's grounded for sure.
He's helped a lot. His wife is nuts, dude. Not nuts in a bad way.
All women are my friend.
Yeah, not in a bad way, but she's like, okay, so like I remember watching a story of her. I think I was at a TED Talk at Purdue, and she wasn't there, but they played a video of her. And she was going to tribes in Africa, like remote Africa, with her and like a couple other people. And she was teaching women about contraceptives, like giving them birth control and stuff like that. And then, you're sitting there, you're like, this is one of the richest women in the world. And where's she at? She's not on a beach hanging out, she's not just sitting there like she's enjoying her wealth.
Change,
she's in remote Africa, with a couple other people where anything could happen, and she's out there helping women, teaching them about contraceptives and giving them like condoms, giving them birth control. That's crazy to me. One of the wealthiest people in the world is doing that kind of stuff on the ground level. That's huge, dude. And like, I think Bill Gates is in the same boat.
That's character.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's just character.
Some of us, yeah.
Those are people that just want to fucking change the world, have access to a stupid amount of resources. So
exactly. They have so much power. And I think there's so much people that have that kind of power. I mean, not maybe at the level that, Bill Gates has it, but they have a lot of money and they're just kind of chilling with it,
Yeah, but I also do think that there's a lot of people that do a lot of things that don't want recognition.
I agree.
The older I get, the more I'm like,
some people don't want to be recognized for what they're doing. They just want to do it because they want to do it, and they don't want people to think that they're doing it because they want recognition. So
they're not shooting the TV special. We're not going to get into that. I love Oprah, but also not going to get into that.
Yeah, we won't go too far there. But yeah, kind of tying back to the 10,000 hours idea. A lot of it has to do with timing, I think. Like I remember reading a book, and it might be in Outliers. They were showing the years, how close Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were born together. They were born like a year apart or like 8 months apart from each other, and both of these two tech typhoon people came up at the same time, kind of the same time. Time frame. They're both
energy in the universe works in really mysterious ways.
And one was the creative, and one was the technical producer, right?
Yeah.
So like Steve Jobs, I really appreciate what he did. I think a lot of people appreciate what he did as far as his movements and technology. I mean, we're all using iPhones now. I mean, people use Android.
User friendly. I think that's the biggest thing that Steve Jobs left us. Is things are going to continue to become more and more user friendly.
Yeah.
He really paid attention to what humans wanted. And that is a special touch that not a lot of people have. And
I agree.
Yeah, have you read his biography?
Part of it. I have a couple books, but they're not like his full biography. It's people writing about his life, so it's not his thing, kind of. I don't know. It's not an autobiography. Does he have one?
No.
That he wrote or someone else wrote for him, like with him?
I forget. I forget. I have the book in my apartment. I've read a little bit of it, but it talks about how he went through like, I want to say like 2,000 different shades of gray for the first Mac.
Yeah. That's insane.
That's not a man that's
perfectionist.
Obsessed. Yeah, that's obsessed with finding perfection in his products, in his vision. I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
That of gray.
Just
that's not right either. Nah, not that one.
Oh wait,
no.
I wonder what his
that one either.
He's like,
the biggest question is the biggest question is was it the last one he came upon?
I don't know.
Was it like you get to 2051, it's like, oh, this is it?
Yeah.
Or was he like, no, go back to 1700,
Yeah. I could just see him in a room sitting there like
taking
flipping through the slides. Great. No,
different shades of.
no.
That's funny.
They are beautiful though. They are.
Yeah, man. Like they're very aesthetically pleasing. There's nothing that necessarily throws your eye off.
Yeah.
It's very, put it in a wind tunnel. You know what I mean? Like, it's very smooth.
It's nice.
Yeah, not that other laptops aren't, but, like, this is a man that obsessed over that idea.
Of design.
Yeah.
And integration into our lives.
Yeah. And
easy
like,
integration.
Definitely. And from a producer's standpoint, I've worked with both Macs and PCs. Adobe on both. Different digital audio workstations on both, and they obviously both have their pros and cons. I find the streamline of things in Macs, like the way the files are set up and everything. Like, what's nice about PCs is you have access to more customization.
Yeah,
you can really make that PC yours. My Mac that I have is a workhorse.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's meant to, be a smooth ride. Not that PCs aren't, but like, I don't know. And that's the whole Mac versus PC debate, right?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Coke, Pepsi, Burger King, McDonald's, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just my experience. I find, but I do also really enjoy PCs and the way they're laid out. Like I always steal way too much shit off the internet when I'm on a PC.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah.
I return it though.
Yeah. Okay.
Bookmark.
Yeah. I mean, I've never used a Mac laptop.
No way.
I have an iPhone, but I've never used a Mac. I love my computer. Like right now, I love it. I love Windows. I've just grown up using it. So like for me to switch,
it'd be weird.
It'd be weird. I mean, I'm not against it because I know they're very powerful machines and they're beautiful machines. But at the same time, I've never used one, so it's kind of like it'd be a learning curve at first.
Yeah.
I do like them. They look great. So I don't know. I need to get a new one soon, eventually for editing purposes because mine's painfully slow.
I would.
They're expensive too, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're stupidly expensive. Mine was a gift. Mine was a graduation gift.
Okay.
I got really lucky.
Yeah.
And also another thing to be noted, I grew up a PC guy. I had a fucking Windows HP desktop in my room in high school. You know what I mean? That was where I did Deaf Man production stuff.
Yeah.
Throwback.
Link in the description.
But then, I got accepted to Ball State, was going to go there for production, and you had to have Macs. You had to have a Mac.
Gotcha.
So that was where the Mac came in. And then, obviously, when I dropped out of Ball State but continued producing, it just kind of like...
Kept on.
Yeah.
Kept on going.
But I've actually been thinking about, recently making a switch to PC.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's just, why not? You know what I mean? Like,
see what's out there.
Be bilingual.
Yeah.
With laptops.
Yeah. It's weird there's only two of them. Two kinds.
Yeah.
PC and Mac.
Well, and then,
there's Linux,
there's
too.
Lenovo.
Yeah.
Lenovo or whatever.
No, but I'm talking about, like, operating systems.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, there's iOS and then... I don't know, Windows. And then, I mean, you can use Linux if you're a weirdo. I used to use Linux.
Those are people that, like, really want to have control over their computer.
They're like people that can code really well. And, like, they can streamline everything. Like, if you knew how to code, I feel like Linux is probably, like, beautiful to use.
Oh, yeah.
You can probably, you can zoom around. You do a lot of shit with Linux.
Oh yeah.
I got Linux. I don't have it now. I used to have it when I was in college. It kind of made it a pain in the ass because I didn't know what I was doing. My computer, I got it I got graduation money when I graduated high school, and I went out and spent it all on this computer that I have right now. And I had like a month long of antivirus. Ran out. I kid you not. Next day, I had so many photos on there.
No way.
Computer crashed. Wouldn't load, and I was like, no way, dude. So I take it to the computer guys. This is kind of a shady thing. Yeah, we could put Linux on there for $40, which Linux is free. So I don't know why they charge me $40. Assholes.
Labor, man.
Plug it in, dude. And then they're like, or you can buy a whole new Windows OS for like, I don't know what it was, like $120. I was like, I'll try Linux. I'm like, what's Linux? They're like, oh, it's really cool. You won't get a virus. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I used Linux for 2 years. It's not bad. It's just
different.
It's a lot different.
Isn't that the penguin? Isn't that their logo?
I think so. Mine was like Linux Mint was the kind. It's cool.
I've never used.
You can't get a virus on them. Everything's different. They're like web browsers are like different types of like you could do Chrome, but it doesn't play nice. They have like certain web browsers that you use with Linux, and like they have like a Linux version of Word. They have a Linux version of PowerPoint. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
I used mostly Google Docs at that time because I was in school, so like sharing stuff was like hell.
Google Drive is amazing.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps me stay organized.
Well,
Which I'm not organized at all. My point exactly. You know.
It helps.
Yeah.
We'll pull back a little bit here. I want to talk about a couple things. First one being like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's another great example of somebody who's dedicated thousands of hours to his craft of building his body, and then also segueing from that, working on acting. I know he spent so much time and energy becoming a great actor, or some people might not think he's a great actor, but in his world, he was good. You know,
he's a fucking badass. Let's be honest. Like you can't. Yeah. Nobody's gonna deny that. Like the Terminator. Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I know.
Who's
exactly.
gonna say like, nah, that's not.
No, he sucks.
That's not fucking really cool.
He sucks, dude.
Nobody's gonna say that. If they do, they're just.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But I mean, his story. Born in I think Austria. Dad was a cop. Came to America. He got into weightlifting there. Came here. Just dedicated his whole life pretty much to weightlifting and bodybuilding. To then be the best at that. Transfer over, go to Hollywood, take like thousands of acting classes, thousands of hours put into acting, becomes a good actor, runs that career, becomes governor of California. And I don't know
his hours in office in his suit.
And now he's acting sometimes, like little cameo stuff. And I think he has a couple movies, like late.
Got to keep moving.
Late years.
You know what I mean? The man doesn't like being bored.
Yeah, he like conquered three totally unique things. It made them all work and made him became famous for each one of them. That is crazy. His story is crazy. I think there's a lot to be learned. There's a lot to be learned, I think, about Arnold and his life and his work ethic.
Arnold.
And I think, I still Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know.
I pick things up and put them down.
I still think people that have conquered and became like great at one thing, their likelihood of becoming great at something else is so high because they realize the amount of work you have to put into it.
They know how to utilize their talents.
Yeah, like so. For example, he became one of the best bodybuilders in the world, or the most famous, or most successful.
He's the Michael Jordan of bodybuilding.
Yeah,
no one's gonna.
There's play because there's a lot of genetics that play into becoming a bodybuilder, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you have the wrong genetics, no matter how hard you work,
he was like 10.
Yeah, no matter how hard you work, if you don't have the right genetics, you don't have the right height, you don't have the right symmetry in your body,
it's not gonna play out.
You're not gonna. It's not gonna work.
You gotta have a high metabolism from the start.
Yeah, and you gotta have like the perfect like chest size and back size, and like some of that is you can only pack so much muscle on a certain build.
A lot of factors.
Yeah,
But
anyway, regardless though, anybody that does either put in hundreds and thousands of hours of work.
Steroids or not. Also,
yeah,
gonna be on that topic. Yeah. You ever heard of Mike O'Hearn?
Yes.
Natural guy.
Yeah.
Freak of nature.
Yeah.
That's not steroids. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe a little. But even if there was a little.
Yeah. It's not like you can't discredit him for the work.
It's not like he just woke up one day and was like that. These are guys like him and The Rock. Like,
yeah.
They've spent 20 years in the gym.
Yeah, The Rock.
Literally, probably about how old you and I are, they've spent that amount of time
in the gym.
Lifting weights. Forcing blood into their muscles.
Yeah.
Getting the pump.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? So like, if anyone wants to be like, oh, steroids, throw them out the fucking window.
Yeah,
because it does take a ridiculous.
Regardless
amount
of steroids or not, bro.
Also in the kitchen too. These guys eat like a sport too.
Yeah,
you have to. You have to
be really clean, dude.
Really clean, really consistent. A lot of calories, a lot of pooping. Man,
lots of fiber. I bet.
You have to.
Well, you power lifted.
I did, man.
Yeah.
I
So
did.
tell.
We talk about my poops now, or
No, I don't want to go there yet.
Right on.
I
You
mean,
don't
if
have
that's something you need to talk about.
Oh no, I have a therapist.
Oh, okay. So what was your routine like when you got into? Well, first of all, we'll take a step back. How did you get into it, and then what was your routine like, keeping up with it, and like, is it called practice or is it just weightlifting? Do you practice for powerlifting? Powerlifting's more like it's more of a sport than like bodybuilding, where it's like aesthetics.
Yeah, with powerlifting, you basically were practicing lifting as much weight as you possibly could. Mm-hmm. That was what it was. And then when meets would come around, you would try to lift as much as you could in that meet. Mm-hmm. That was the sport, like just exerting yourself to your physical capacity, keeping track of that. Which takes a toll on your body.
Oh, I bet. So we'll go back and talk about how did you get into it?
How I got into it.
How did you first get started?
I played football for 4 years in high school. Didn't really play football. Just kind of went to practice and lifted. Probably because I'm so damn short. But then from being in the weight room so much during high school, I just kind of kept that momentum going into college, and then I was competing individually at that point. Got a couple years into college, and then that was when I had a couple injuries that forced me to, put my body first. Nothing against people that have dedicated their lives to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can come back from surgeries. I've seen people completely blow out their knees and have surgery, come back and are squatting the same weight that they did before. You know what I mean? Like literally any physical feat is possible if you really put your mind to it.
Mm-hmm, if you really want it.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm also a drummer. Like I don't want to put myself in a position to lose that ability, mm-hmm. that flexibility that I need to have behind the kit.
Yeah.
So that was when I decided to make the switch more towards drumming and production.
Yeah.
But it was a wild ride. It was fun. It's also fun on all levels. I recommend, if people are looking for if you're already a gym goer and you're looking for a hobby to do, look up a powerlifting meet. Honestly, because it has nothing to do with how you look. It just has to do with like your weight.
Yeah.
And how much weight you lift for your weight.
Mm-hmm. So how much eating went into it?
Oh God!
Like how much did you have to prepare?
A lot of beef, a
Really?
lot of carbs.
What was your main dish that you'd go to?
Man, I love pasta.
You do pasta?
I do a lot of pasta. I do pasta with about a pound of ground beef on it.
In one meal?
Oh yeah, I can
What?
also I
Dude,
do like a
dude.
dozen eggs and rice in one sitting.
You need a dozen egg.
That was a meal. That was and toast and shit
What,
too.
dude?
Dude, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I
Damn.
usually have like protein shakes and shit with it.
That's
too.
a lot of eggs, dude.
Oh yeah.
A dozen eggs at once.
Oh yeah.
Just make a monster omelet or what?
Well, I would. It's not technically fried rice. It's like fried eggs and rice.
I know what you're saying. Together.
And I just cooked that up and.
Did you ever pull a Rocky? Raw eggs?
Nah, I can't do that. I did it.
I've done it once. It's weird.
It's on my bucket list. Yeah, it's interesting,
weird.
but I like enjoying the egg. Not necessarily filling mucus.
It's pretty gross, dude.
Yeah.
It gets stuck in the back of your throat. Like you throw it back, and you're like kind of like a shot. Really, you throw it back, and like a clump just goes right in the throat. And like
there's the yolk.
There's a point. There's a point at which you have to decide to swallow, or you're gonna gag because it hits you, and you're like, if you like freak out, you're gonna spit it back
but it's
out.
Just like a weird textural.
Oh, it's super weird, dude. And it tastes like salty, kind of. There's no sugar in eggs.
Nothing in this conversation is making me want to go out of my way to try a
No,
raw egg.
they're not. I mean, if you're looking for efficiency, if you're looking for breakfast on a go,
I'll slide down real quick.
Oh yeah. That's crazy though, man. That's a lot of food.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
The irony is, I'm vegan now, man.
Wow.
Yeah, like
So-
I really, I don't know. When I was having heartburn at 19 because I was eating 80-20 ground beef, You know what I'm talking about. I love fat, right? You got the flavor in there.
Yeah.
I didn't care about how I lift. I was just trying to get it strong as fucking possible.
Yeah, and you gotta have a lot of protein, a lot.
Yeah, a lot of protein, a lot of carbs, a lot of fat, just a lot of calories. That's what people don't understand. Oh, nothing I do works. I can't lose weight. Well, are you eating less? No.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you eating?
There's your problem.
Yeah, I think eating is probably like 80%. If you're trying to
It's
put on or lose weight, eating is 80%. Because that's 80% of your day. I mean, you're only in the gym an hour a day, maybe. Yeah. Maybe you're only going 3 times a week.
The rest of it is rest and recovery and nutrition and
lifting
feeding.
helps, but it's the diet. The diet is like, if you don't have the diet in place, you could be wasting your time at the gym. You could just be spinning your tires.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of cases, you know, food is medicine. You know what I mean? It's like, I've seen memes of I can't remember specifically what the character was, but it's like, you know, when you're driving around town and your engine keeps making noises, so you turn the music up.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what being a professional powerlifter is like. With injuries and shit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And so in terms of like training and like working out, there's nothing wrong with that at all. In terms of, you know, becoming an adrenaline junkie on the ground around iron, it just kind of takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
You know?
I can imagine. Do a lot of them do yoga? I feel like yoga would probably help a little bit. I know it's a lot of abuse.
I
but
did.
Like
I can't really speak.
It's got to help with like your
flexibility. Definitely. I stretched actually the most flexible I've ever been was around my peak of powerlifting. Yeah, it's because you have to stay flexible in order to stay nimble. The more flexible you are, the less prone you are to injury. Mm-hmm. Because think about it, if you have a little bit better range of motion with your arms, and like something doesn't go right on a lift, like you have more of a barrier to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm. If you're all tight,
being
all the time,
strong from all angles is really important.
Yeah, those muscles that aren't necessarily visible muscles, but they're there and they help.
Absolutely,
you know, like that's what kind of yoga kind of works those muscles that you never even knew you had. You know, like those stabilizer muscles that are really important.
But all of them add up just as much as the bigger muscles do.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, being able to balance the, push and pull, right? Mm-hmm. Legs and upper body and all the, it's an art form, but.
So how'd you get pumped up when you were at a meet? What got you psyched to
Metal
lift?
Music, smelling salts, caffeine.
Do you do a lot of pre-workout?
Oh yeah, I would take like triple the serving.
Gee,
you know, I remember one year I had a dude just like slap me in the face a couple of times before.
Really?
I was about to do like a deadlift or something.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, you want to like fucking hype me up? I was there by myself. You know?
Yeah.
And
wow.
He's like, yeah, man, I got you. I'm like. Oh, you know, and then you just go fucking ape shit.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, and it's a.
So was that the time? Because you set a couple records for your age, and you said some of them were still standing, right?
I did, and
was that one of those times when you got? Is it a different time?
I actually. What's funny about that is no, I actually don't think that was one of my record-setting times, which probably goes to show don't have random people in the gym slap you in the face and you go for a match. You know what I mean? But it's just like it's a mentality, you know. It's like you know, fuck.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of it's really just focus on at what point during the lift am I using what muscles. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to know when to on a deadlift. Like you have to be able to know when to really pull in your back. Can't start to lift with your back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you gotta start with your legs, and then
the work in the back.
It's
at the right timing though, or you're gonna
exactly. And that's also, you know, it's what's beautiful about powerlifting is it does force you powerlifting and like Olympic weightlifting, like cleans and snatches and shit. Mm-hmm. You have to have near perfect form because you want your body to work with you, not you work against your body.
Yeah.
And some people in the fucking gym have atrocious form, and
You're
makes
like,
me
dude, you're
sick to
gonna
my
you're like,
stomach.
dude, you're gonna be injured in like
a
couple
man,
months.
But people don't.
you're gonna have issues later that you don't know about right now.
And then that always comes to fruition if they stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times those people don't because they never bothered to look up proper form in the first place because they didn't think it was a thing.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a really big disconnect there. Like
well, and sometimes proper form at first when you don't know what you're doing, it's harder to lift the weight.
Oh yeah. It is harder.
For example, like bench press, like if you don't have the right form,
but
you could probably lift more at first.
Strength.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more natural strength.
Mm-hmm.
The more flexible you are, and the more static you are with your lift. You know what I mean? Like the less you move, the more efficient of a human being you are. Because if you're moving, like you've seen guys in the weight room that are benching and like throwing their fucking legs around and like, you know.
Do you ever do the shit where your feet are up and they're like?
Well, yeah, it was high school. Everyone kind of did that.
Really? I never done that, and I never knew why people would do that. They put their feet up when they're doing bench press.
Are you talking like feet up on the bench press?
They'll be laying down, and their feet are like up here, like they're laying down flat, and they're like this, and they're bench pressing. Their feet are above the bench.
I know what you're talking about now.
I never understood that.
I've tried that. I've done that. Whatever.
Does it do anything? What's it for?
All it literally does is it takes, because you get some drive from your hips and your legs out of a bench press. Mm-hmm. You do it the right way.
Yeah,
like,
when you
get some tension. Yeah, it helps you. Yeah, man, it helps you like really drive it home. If you put your feet up on the bench press, it takes that element completely out of it. So in a way, it helps isolate the upper body. But like that's like. Why would you put in hours practicing riding a motorcycle when you're trying to get your car license? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like why would you do anything other than how your body's meant to move? You know what I mean? Like especially with powerlifting, like you're trying to bring your all with the lift consistently each time you go up there. You take your legs out of it. All that puts you is your upper body a little bit ahead of your bench press than your lower body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus if you
it's all together.
Kept your body is a unit. Mm-hmm. You got your arms, legs, head, neck, back, core.
Everything works together.
Right? Yeah. You have to utilize everything in order to actually like move some weight. You know? Like there really is. You can't just. I'm gonna call it muscle everything out. Yeah. Just like, oh, I'm so fucking strong. Ugh. Like you really have to like, and like a lot of my warm ups were just, you know, little to no weight on the bar, just like getting down.
Form.
Yeah, just like stretching my body in positions where it was gonna be stretched with weight on it. Yeah. A lot to get it loose, to get it ready for 300, 400, 500 pounds, whatever the fuck I was doing that day. Yeah. You know? Because it's the risk of injury is always there. Yeah, always there. Yeah, and it'll happen
because powerlifting, you're pushing your body to limits.
That's the sport.
Yeah, so that's always gonna be close, man. That's intense.
It is, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. I had made a lot of cool friends, met a lot of cool people.
You know anybody that's still doing it?
Yeah, I know a couple. Yeah, I had some buddies in Muncie that I lifted with that. You know, I still see
going strong
competition shit, and I'm like, damn,
that's cool.
Good luck, boys.
Yeah,
you know,
I figure that'd be kind of crazy to do.
Yeah, it does, man. Because I that thrill, you can't really. It's specific. Like you can't match it. Like you can't match the thrill of jumping out of a airplane, right? Yeah. You can't match the thrill of being doing Harley,
as much weight as you possibly can.
Yeah. The thrill of like, also when you hit numbers. Because it's a numbers game. It's very goal oriented. If you're not setting goals in powerlifting or in bodybuilding, quite frankly, or in anything, you're not getting shit done. You know. So once you hit these numbers that you've worked years for, and have sustained injuries from and came back from, and then hit a number like it's a
euphoric.
Yeah. It's dope. Yeah. I had a 500-pound deadlift at a 175-pound. Body weight.
Wow.
A couple years ago, man, and that shit took me forever.
Really?
To get to.
but once you hit it, you're just
I stood at the top, looked around, the cocky motherfucker.
Yeah.
And was like, yup, and then dropped it.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man.
And fortunately, I hit that, and then I like really fucked up my back.
Were you doing the same weight
After,
or were you doing less weight?
I was doing
or more weight.
No, I was actually doing less weight. I went into the workout cold. I was late, and I lifted with a couple buddies down there. And so I get into the gym, and they're like, "Hey, we've been waiting on you. It's your turn." I'm like, "All right, fuck, cool." And you know, at this time, you're kind of going not on a career high, but you're just like,
yeah, you're feeling good.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
You've made good progress.
Yeah,
and like
and
you're
you-
you're at a level that's above most people, right? Like you're at a level that's
and then the hard part's maintaining that. Always the hard part is maintaining that, and then also progressing.
yeah.
So, you know, I'm here. I am. You know, I mean, we what I loved about the group that I lifted with is we, you know, we had fun with it, but we also were really focused on the weight. You know what I mean? Like that was why we were there. We all just wanted to be strong as fuck.
Yeah.
And that was the energy, that was the mentality. But I get there, and I think I had like 450 on blocks, and at the time I was trying to work on my hip flexibility, so I was lifting sumo, so I was getting my hips out, right? I literally like drop my bag, pull my knee sleeves up onto my knees, maybe get a little chalk in my hands, go down, get set up, go to pull. I get like 2/3 of the way through the extension, and I just like feel.
Did it pop or was it just like
it was a pop.
Oh man.
It was a pop in my back, dog. It was man. It was one of those like I had a lot of injuries. I had tweaked my back, my neck, my shoulders, my knees. I had knee surgery before. Like I you know I've.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those. I just knew, man. I was like, that is not right.
Yeah.
That should not have. You know. Immediately set it down, started stretching the rest of practice, didn't touch another weight. Dude, I went to a chiropractor, went to doctors, wore a back brace, stretched, like it was yoga, it was ridiculous. I couldn't.
So did you stop lifting cold like after that? Like
No,
you kind of like slowed it down, and that's how you kind of.
I think I took like a week break after that because I was like, fuck, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, rush anything. But then I got back in the gym probably about a week after that and was doing upper body shit. All while in a back brace.
Wow.
Yeah, man. But it took a lot of. I ended up going to a really cool sports medicine doctor in Lafayette, and I'm drawing a blank on what his name is, but he was the only person that could actually tell me what happened. My sacrum, which is like a plate that connects the back of your hip bone to the bottom of your spine, had like. It's supposed to sit flat, right? It had popped up like that. And he said the reason he knew is because he could feel it.
Oh man!
And so he did therapy with me where he had to like massage it back into place, basically.
Was that painful?
A little bit.
Nice.
Once it got to where it was supposed to be, I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we working, we live, you know, we back, and
man,
yeah. So I really appreciated the physiological help. You know, not all doctors are bad.
Yeah,
there are some good ones out there.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Nothing against medicine, man.
It's all good, dude. Well, I just remembered that I hadn't brought in to this conversation because I kind of made some assumptions because we spoke last time. Was how the 10,000 hour rule originated, right? And so the author, or I don't know if he made these studies or he was referencing these studies, but they took 3 groups of violinists and they had people that were teachers, people that were quote unquote good, and they had people that were quote unquote excellent at what they did. And they found commonalities between these violinists that people that were teachers had like 300 to 400 hours of practice in. Maybe no, it's 300 to 400 hours of practice to be a teacher. People that were quote unquote great or good had like 5 to 6,000 hours of practice. And the people that were excellent all across the board had 10,000 hours or more of practice. And not just any practice, though. You know, kind of like when you're in there lifting, you're trying to progress, right? So like, we've all driven a lot, you know, but we're not race car drivers, right? Like, so because we're not actively trying to get better at driving. We're just trying to get from point A to point B. So just showing up's not all of it, right? Showing up with the mentality of I want to make progress in this. So dedicated time to that working towards something like bodybuilding, like Kobe Bryant shooting layups. You know, Larry Bird would shoot. He had to make 100 free throws in a row before he'd leave practice.
Yeah, and
in a row.
These are guys who almost household names.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Greats.
So that's why they call it the 10,000 hour rule. Is that combination of all of those hours put towards something? After 10,000 hours, you are in that caliber of greatness. Dedicated time. Like LeBron James shows up early for practice. Hours earlier than everybody else, and it shows. You know, it shows so much. These people are excellent. I mean, I'm sure Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant did the exact same thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure all the people that you know of
you gotta
outwork everybody.
You gotta dive in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what makes you crazy, what keeps you here, what keeps you sane, you know, what keeps you going. Everybody has that somewhere in them. Some people find it, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are people that we're stepping into their shoes.
Yeah.
You know, there's 4 levels. There's beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was reading something the other day about in order to go from the advanced to expert, you have to cross through that threshold of really most of what you do is your craft, is your thing. You know? I know the last podcast we talked about how guys like Kobe, like the court was their desk. I'm sure he still spends a lot of time in the court.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, that's
him.
Their environment,
yeah.
right? And these are people that are going to be in the conversation of greatest basketball players of all time. Forever. Yeah,
forever.
Literally.
Yeah.
Will Chamberlain, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's still there.
Yeah, right? These are, and it's so interesting to be able to kind of back yourself up and like we saw Kobe play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like our kids.
Yeah.
Well,
and like our parents saw Michael play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just missed Michael too. You know what I mean? And that's a.
Well, you know, I remember him playing for the Wizards back in I remember watching him play for the Wizards when he came back. He was like 40 years old.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the same.
That was like 2000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I remember watching with my dad, and
I remember that too.
And he's like, "This isn't." I remember him telling me, "He's like, this isn't the same. It's not the same. It's not the same Michael Jordan."
No, it's just him.
He just kind of came back,
getting a fucking paycheck. He's like,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, we got to see some of those people, and that's what we're talking about.
Shaq.
You know, witnessing greatness. Yeah. Witnessing that caliber performance, whatever it might be. You know, talk about Venus Williams and Serena Williams. Yeah. Same thing. They started playing tennis when they're 4. You know, practicing 8 hours a day when they're 4 years old. You know, people famous like ice skaters. I don't know any like big names. There's one that was Marco Robbie's playing, the famous ice skater that was like in the Olympics. Can't remember the ice skater's name, but I mean anything, dude. Just thousands. Lance Armstrong.
You think he rode on a bike for a little bit? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
people just try to discredit him because he like did the blood doping thing. It's like, it's like the same as like the steroids thing we're talking about. It's like, dude, it doesn't mean it invalidates everything. He put so much work into that sport, and his name still will be recognized.
It's in the conversation.
Always.
It does.
I don't know any other bicyclists. Do you?
No.
That's what I'm saying, bro. No one.
It's like
everyone's like, Lance Armstrong. It's like, who else are you gonna talk about? Anybody else? I'm like, who's that? He also conquered like cancer twice. I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, and his name is Lance Armstrong. I mean, bro.
The yellow bracelets.
He created those bracelets. I know everyone listened to us because they're in everyone in our age bracket, but those bracelets were the hot shit back in the day.
They were, man. It was like black. It was like black market, man.
Yeah,
like underground.
People would sell them to each other.
People were like,
bro, I got a green one, bro.
You got bracelet eye, cool.
I got a green Live Strong one, dude. Like
tie dye, yellow.
That shit's rare, dude. $5.
I wonder if they still, have them. Like if there's.
I wonder because the silly bands came in.
Oh yeah, those kind of took over that.
Then they kind of went.
That was a quick
That was like a summer.
That was like a...
No, but those Livestrong bracelets lasted a while, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't as quick as the Silly Bands, but it was still...
They were...
Some people still rock them.
I still see people with them.
Yeah. So
to that I go, live strong, man.
Live strong, brother. You're keeping it going.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, so I'm trying to figure out how to kind of bring this back in and also relate it to music, right? Malcolm Gladwell brings in the Beatles into the book, and he starts talking about how the Beatles got to where they are. And like a lot of us, we just see when they came to America and they had millions of fans, whatever. But we don't see, and like they call it the 10 dark years, is it takes on average about 10 years to get those 10,000 hours in. They said, I think it's like 2 hours, or it's like 3 or 4 hours every single day for 10 years to your 10,000 hours. Double that, so like 6-7 hours a day. You can do it in 5 years. And if you want to do it in 2 years, it's like 18 hours a day. That's same
madness.
Thing. So like, to put that in a perspective, that's a lot of time. So what the Beatles did before they came to America, they were playing 300 shows a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the Beatles
3 to 4 hour shows
played more shows than a majority of bands have ever played, ever will play.
Yeah. Like 300 shows.
They're gods.
Dude, that's 60 days off a year, and their shows they're playing 4 or 5 hour sets. Okay, and sometimes they're ad-libbing on those sets because they would play at a nightclub, and the dude loved them, so he'd just have them come back like every night. That's what they kind of mentioned in that book, and like they've played so much, and we don't even see it. You know, we just see the Beatles. You know, we don't notice how much work they actually do. And same thing with LeBron, like these great basketball players. We don't see him going to practice early every day.
Presentation.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of us are like, we're just like in awe. We're like, how is he so good? It must be some magic. It's like, but we don't. If you saw the work from him since day one, you would be like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
That's why he's a professional. That's why he's in the NBA.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's
everything lines up now. Yeah. Now I get it. And so like to us, we think like we can never achieve these things is because we don't see the back half. We're just like, I can never.
Up in the moment.
I could never do that. I could never do that. And then if you saw everything they did to make that happen, you'd be like, I could do that. It just takes this, and this
all it takes
every
is mentality.
day. Exactly.
That's it.
So we're kind of
it's an attitude.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of misled a little bit. And it's our own doing, you know. But like
we're lazy.
Yeah.
Honestly, because it's easier to not try at anything.
Well,
it's not cool.
You don't lose if you don't try.
Exactly.
You can't fail.
Avoid disappointment. Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck that, right?
Yeah.
Like, get up and do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everybody has something.
Exactly.
Right? Or multiple things, and I think that's kind of your point. And I'm agreeing with you. And then you got to look at cool. If you have one thing that you do for 10,000 hours,
that's just as great. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have 3 things that you do for a combined total of 10,000 hours.
Those combinations
does that not make you a little bit?
No, it does.
More. Does that not give you a little bit more of an edge?
I think it does because you have that diversity and you can move and change and fit.
That versatility that lacks with just the one kind of static.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick one thing, you have to be absolutely the best at it. If you pick multiple things, you don't necessarily have to be the best at what you do, but the combination of what you do is so unique that no one else can do that.
Good practice. You know what I mean? If you, to that I say just never be bored. You know what I mean? Like
do whatever fills your curiosity.
People are a lot more talented than they give themselves credit for, and I feel like a lot of the times it's low self-esteem, man.
Yeah.
Fuck social media. That's what I say.
Yeah,
I mean,
tough.
Social media is incredible. It's like
it's a powerful tool.
Yeah, man. It's what makes the internet, in my opinion.
It's a big aspect of it.
Yeah, like I feel like people pay too close of attention on like who's liking their shit or like who isn't commenting on their shit. Or,
yeah, that's kind of.
You know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't matter.
No,
it literally doesn't. Like, it's all about self-worth, you know, and it's not uncool to try, you know.
No, it's not.
And that's kind of a disconnect, I think.
My phone died.
Damn, no way.
But I'm gonna move this camera so it's on both of us.
Bet.
Well, I can always adjust. All right, guys. My bad. Sorry about that. We have a new camera angle.
Diversifying.
Yeah.
Your skills within the 10,000 hour pie chart. Is that something?
How you gonna divide up your time, man?
Yeah.
You know, how you gonna divide it up? Are you gonna work 9 hours a day? That's something you don't like?
You're gonna work
12
hours a day. You're gonna work 4 hours a day. You know what I mean?
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna figure it out? And it's not always easy to like fill that. Because like for me, for example, getting that perfect routine like in your head, like if you had the perfect day, you know, getting that to be habitual every day, that takes a lot more time than people think. This kind of goes into the formation of habits, right? Like if you're like, dude, what I want to do is I want to wake up at 5:30. I'd love to go to the gym. Then I want to come back and I want to meditate. I want to drink my coffee. I want to read. Then I want to write. Then I want to go to work. It's like, okay, you want to change a bunch of shit right now. Try one thing first. Okay, try to wake up at 5:30.
People try to completely change their lifestyles overnight.
Sometimes they can do it for like a couple weeks, but then they're gonna go back to their regular shit.
Yeah, so you gotta slowly evolve yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's because change isn't an overnight thing.
No.
Becoming an expert isn't an overnight thing.
Exactly.
Right? On the road to 10,000 hours, you're gonna run into obstacles and learn things that you didn't know you needed to know.
Mm-hmm.
Same with like living life as the most efficient human being as you can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not, everybody's different. Everybody has different habits and different approaches to what
they want to do with their time.
Yeah, some people wake up at 8 in the morning, some people wake up at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go to bed at 10, some people go to bed at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Some people don't have you know what I mean? And we all, it's all about like what makes you function the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think,
what are you trying to accomplish, and how do you feed that the best you can?
How do you help yourself out?
Yeah, exactly.
People don't realize that they're their own worst enemy.
Yeah, they say you're a bad employee, and you're even a worse boss of yourself. You can't boss yourself around. You think you can.
No, but
you can't will
ultimately,
it.
Like
you have to bargain with yourself.
Be as you are.
You have to bargain with yourself. You have to say, hey, if I'm going to do this, I get to do this in exchange. You know, if I go to the gym at 5:30, I get to spend an hour doing this that I really like doing. Because
it's give and take, it's balance.
You have to balance in yourself. You can't just will your way to everything. And that's in the same kind of aspect as far as like practice, like dedicated hours of practice. I mean, unless you really love it, and at some point you're not, it's going to be, everything you do is going to be like, well, work, man. Like making 100 free throws like Larry Bird every single practice. I know he probably loves basketball, but at the same time,
it's a love-hate relationship.
Exactly. It's just like anything, dude. Like when you're practicing that much, there's going to be points at which you don't enjoy every single moment, and that's okay.
But that's when you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Because that's when the biggest breakthroughs and the biggest accomplishments and the biggest progress is made.
Mm-hmm.
is when you're tired.
Yeah.
As fucked up as that sounds,
it's the last 3 reps. That's what I talk about in weightlifting.
That's what matters.
The last 3 reps what matter.
Home.
Yeah.
You know, my combat to that, my reply to that, if somebody thinks that's a little too hard to do, is you just gotta find your fire. If you find the thing that wakes you up in the morning and you hold on to that, you're not gonna have a problem doing anything in your day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna always have your sights on that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
Meditate a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Think on it.
Yeah. Sleep on it.
Sleep on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I remember we spoke about, and I think this is actually kind of a cool thing to bring up in the book. He mentions this as far as like when you first start something. The first, like, for example, I pick up the guitar, I start practicing, I start learning it, right? The progress I make at first is huge. Same with weightlifting, right? If you've never been to the gym and you work out for 3 months, your body is going to change drastically, like a lot. And so it's really easy to keep doing it because you're getting instant feedback, right? That's not really the grind. The grind doesn't really happen for a while. So you start off like your practice and skill level goes like shoots up like this at the very beginning. But then after a while, it's going to start to dip down. And that's going to dip down because you're going to stop seeing those immediate results. So you might stop doing it as much. You might be, I'm getting worse at this. What happened? I'm not making the progress I used to make. The real grind happens after you make that mellow decline. I don't know what that was. After you make that mellow decline, there's a choice to stop doing what you're doing and do something else, or
keep going.
This is where the real grind starts.
Yeah.
Whereas you've gotten your base skills now you have to see and take it. That's that second curve. So there's two curves to it, to that, there's a steep original one where you're learning a bunch of stuff in a short amount of time.
It's invigorating. People get addicted to that feeling, and then they get pissed off when it goes away.
Exactly.
But it's all a mentality.
You
can always learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
You can always do a different lift. You can always get an extra rep. You can always put another pound on.
Exactly.
If we're talking about like weight room and lifting.
Well, it's an easy way to kind of,
But that also applies to like...
You can apply a lot of things.
Yeah, putting on an extra 10 pounds is the same as like grabbing an extra $5 next time you go to the library.
Mm-hmm.
Or like getting a second job.
Mm-hmm.
Or learning another instrument or language or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times people can handle the extra weight that they put on themselves. They just don't try in the first place.
Yeah.
They're too scared of failing.
Yeah, it's easier to not. That's what I'm saying. It's easier to not try.
Yeah.
So people that are like, oh, whatever, I don't need to do that. I don't feel like I have to try. Like
why?
What do you have to lose, man?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why not? And if you try it, don't like it, do something else.
Exactly. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, just don't do nothing. There's so many people that do nothing, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I know. I feel like, do you not have any goals?
No.
It's hard for me to even think about because I've always had goals. But like for people that like don't have any goal, like, what are you? Are you just floating around? Like,
yeah, they just.
I don't understand that life.
I don't either.
I can't really relate to it. Mainly because I've always had something that I was like trying to achieve or like get good at.
That's what fucking keeps me going. You know what I mean? Like that's.
Some people are just like,
my coffee in the morning is like, what am I doing today to get me closer? To like achieving these goals.
Do you think people that don't have those goals are more present because they're not worried about a goal? They're just living and enjoying it?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, or people, like less goal-oriented people are more concerned with
little things.
The now.
Yeah.
More goal-oriented people, like people that are visionaries and thinking about like moves and what they're wanting to do in the future are distant. They have to be.
I know. But I feel like where you want to be is in the middle. Like ideally you would want parts of both.
Well, you want to make sure, you want to make sure that you're present for the things that you need to be present for. Mm-hmm.
And
then like wherever else your energy goes is completely up to your discretion. Mm-hmm. And this kind of comes into that 10,000 hour pie chart. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to keep up a good relationship with your family, your family has to be part of that pie chart.
Yeah, it does.
If you want a successful relationship, that relationship is part of that. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Your
all
work,
of it.
Your fitness, your your spirituality, your whatever. You only have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, and so does Steve Jobs, and everyone has. Michael Jordan has 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and they didn't become who they are overnight. Mm-hmm. But this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about people only seeing the presentation, people not seeing the practice and the dedication and the hours of trying and failing and trying and trying and failing, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team.
Exactly. Yeah, that's wild.
Like, you go walking down the street,
you know how many people...
5 people are going to have Jordans
But, like,
on.
think about it. I know a lot of people in high school that got cut from the freshman team and they never played again.
Yeah. I tried out in
majority.
7th and 8th grade year, both years, because I'm persistent and I'm stubborn, and I got cut both times.
But you never tried it again.
No, but I went back twice.
You did go back twice.
I did.
You did go back twice.
I thought I improved, but I didn't.
Michael Jordan probably would have kept going back.
I was just like, fuck this, I want to play drums now.
Yeah. I mean, we're not 6. I'm not like genetically meant to play basketball.
Yeah, me either. I was shooting yesterday though, and I was
on point. Yeah, I feel like we think we're kind of good till we play with somebody that's actually good.
And then you're like, fuck. I used to be able to move like that, you know.
Well, hey man, we'll wrap up the podcast here, but dude, thanks for coming back on.
Not a problem.
They didn't see the background stuff. They didn't see the first half, but
hey, you never do.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
See the,
yeah. Hopefully, you guys picked up some good knowledge here, some good insights, and check out Liar.
Yeah,
right?
we're all
In the
liars
link.
on Facebook,
We're all liars.
Instagram, and Twitter.
Check everything out.
At Zach's Mind, Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, tweet it, Zach. You got any last words you want to bless them with here at the end of the podcast?
Spread love, not hate.
Right on.
Yeah, brother.
All right, we're closing it out.
Right on.
Thanks, everybody. Peace.